So when Alan first told me about the program, we were just having a casual chat as friends, and he was kind of sharing different principles and philosophies that he believes in as a whole. And I noticed it aligned with a lot of philosophies and principles that I had. And then he mentioned, he's like, hey, I have a program that I'm building out for this. We actually finished our first cohort, and I actually met someone else who did the program. So I didn't realize that it was the same thing until Alan brought it up to me. And then he just invited me into it. He's like, hey, I think this would be good for you too. I was at a point in my life where I really needed something like this. I really needed some challenge and like a little push to snap me back into the flow of things. So, yeah, it was a no brainer for me to join. Before the program, I had a lot of negative self talk, like a horrible self talk. I would say to myself, oh, you're a loser, you're a nobody. And now I see myself being kind to myself. And that negative self talk, it's almost gone at this point. And I feel like I love myself for the first time. And not in like a super hippy dippy, like 2023 self love kind of way. I mean, like a real way. Like I'm comfortable in my own skin. I can sit in a room by myself and not have to keep myself busy. I feel like I don't have to look impressive or be a certain way around people. The narrative actually flipped completely around. Now, the way I look at things, I'm asking myself the question, is this person worthy of my time, and not the other way around? So it just completely changed my view of myself and how I fit into the world. As far as capabilities go, yeah, there was a lot of challenges and disciplines during the program that pushed me to my absolute limit in all pillars. And some of the challenges were insane. The way I look at it now, I'm so glad I did it, because the amount of self respect and confidence that grew from these challenges, it's irreplaceable. And you can't buy it. The only way that you can get this type of self confidence and respect is if you go through it. And I was so glad that all of us did as a group. It was amazing. I think this is as close as we could get to our nature as possible. I really do think we were used to being in small communities where we do a lot of hard shit together. Men would go out on hunts for days and really enjoy chatting around the campfire. And that was a lot of what this program was, because every single one of us in the group was doing the same disciplines and the same challenges, which were all hard, right? Not a walk in the park. We bonded so closely, but also we were able to push each other and uplift each other to complete the challenges. And the cool thing about this group, it wasn't even about completion, it was about exceeding. All the guys in this group were like, all right, we're going to do this, I'm going to take it to the next level. We're going to do this, I'm going to take it to the next level. And that type of mindset pushed me further than I could have if I had just gone on my own. I felt a sense of belonging. And usually, like, this sense of belonging takes years to develop or months. But with this group, I felt it in weeks. The first couple weeks, it was kind of hard, honestly, because we're all strangers. I don't know these guys. But only 10 weeks later, these guys are like my brothers. And I'm in Thailand right now. I'm all the way across the world. But even when I'm by myself and I feel that little challenge in my day to day life, I think about the guys in my group. And even having that thought gives me a sense of confidence to do whatever I'm afraid to do, even here, all the way across the world. One thing I really enjoyed was the community aspect and accountability. I think where a lot of transformation programs or retreats or whatever, a lot of where it goes wrong is a weak accountability system. But with this program, the way we help hold each other accountable is you basically cannot cheat yourself, or else the group will find out. So there is no bullshitting, there is no lying to yourself. And to have that aspect, I think, is a big part of the transformation. So I really enjoyed the accountability aspect. And then the other side, what was one of the biggest takeaways or lessons? Big lesson is like, whatever we're afraid of doing, we're taught and we're programmed to think that fear is a bad thing. Or if you feel fear, you should go back and run to comfort. But now that I learned what I learned from this program, fear is your soul's calling. Like, I need to do whatever this is, whether it's centered around work or relationships. When you feel that fear, it's actually excitement. And that's how I look at it now. It's not something to shy away from. It's actually something to lean in towards. And I notice my life is just elevating on all pillars because I've learned that takeaway. So something that I used to run away from that I'm leaning more towards into now that's scary is pursuing work that I really love, that sets my soul on fire. A lot of my programming for a long time was if you want to make a lot of money, do something that you hate. And then with your free time, do what you love. That was my programming. And actually, that's what held me back the most because over time, I became dead inside. But now, from what I've learned in this program, it's scarier and more brave to chase what you want instead of settling to other people's expectations of you. So now just removing my fear of judgment and my fear of other people and putting myself out there, pursuing what I want to do. So now stepping into more writing because that's something I love. I've been putting out content around controversial topics that I really believe in, that's truthful to me, that may ruffle a lot of feathers. So that's another thing, is really just expressing my truth to people, even though it goes against the grain. Before, I was trying to fit a mold, always thinking about what are the words that I'm saying? How is this going to come across to the other person? I think the big shift now is I really don't care anymore. Now it's just about me voicing what I truly feel inside. And I'm not even tripping over the words. It's not about the words, it's about my energy. Am I being authentic? At the end of the day, it comes to that. And that's all I care about now. If this person doesn't agree with my authenticity, well, that's their loss. And that's fine. Versus before, I was such a people pleaser, trying to tiptoe around everyone, not offend anyone, have everyone like me. Now it's all about expressing my truth. And if people like me, they like me. And if not, then not. It completely changed my dynamic with women. Going off of what I just said about people pleasing, I was a nice guy, simple as that. When I was on dates, I was thinking about, okay, I should say this, I shouldn't say that. I had an agenda. It was to get her to like me. And because of that agenda, my with women were really bad because they could sense it. Now, because I flipped the script, like truly, is this woman worthy of my time? I'm just able to sit down, be on a date, and just say whatever I want, ask questions if I'm genuinely curious. And if not, I could just sit there in silence. And because of that, I feel like my results in dating and with women has skyrocketed in just a few weeks. If someone's on the fence about joining this program, the best thing I could say is the results that it's produced for me. This was the most single transformative thing I've done for myself. And I've invested a lot of time into myself. I've done other retreats, I've done other programs, explored plant medicine, and all these other avenues gave me a temporary realization, more consciousness about my issues, but it never actually made me work on my issues. But this program forces you to work on your issues. Like there is no escaping. And that's why, again, it's the most transformative thing I've ever done for myself. So I can't help but recommend this to any guy who's looking to level up to that next level, looking to break his limits and just become a much better version of himself. I've seen week after week, transformation after transformation, and in such unique ways. So, to not spoil it, every week has kind of like a different theme. And it's really cool because every week I see the theme of the week impacting one member of the group specifically, like way more than the others. And in that sense, the transformation is super authentic. And I think that's why these groups exist, because we're all similar in certain ways, but in other ways, we're so unique. So each area of focus applies to us in different ways. It was just really cool seeing every single guy change at different times in the program. And it's so apparent. All of us notice it. So, lastly, about the program, I just want to say that this program, I really believe, creates lasting change. We do a lot of daily disciplines, and the fact that we do it for 10 weeks, that's not by coincidence. They say it takes 21 days to build a habit, 62 to lock in a habit. We exceeded that 62 days, and you have a group that's pushing you to your absolute limit. You will change for the long term. And I feel like I have. So, again, I recommend this to anyone looking to level up.